Welcome to Viking Preparedness. I'm Pastor Joe Fox. Chances are good that you are in a leadership position of one kind or another. You're a father, and therefore you are in the leadership position. You are supposed to be the leader of your family, or maybe you're a mom, right? You don't have a husband, and so you have your 2.3 children at home, and you're in that leadership position now. Now you're the head of household, or you could be a school teacher. That's a leadership position. You're in charge of your charges, right? Of the students that you work with and teach, hopefully, every day. You could be the head of your bowling league. I don't know, the head of a Ford manufacturing plant, like pickup truck crew or something. Whatever. There's a good chance that you're in a leadership position. And I say leadership position as opposed to leader because the two are not synonymous. I was in the military for a little over 20 years in the Army. And I worked with many people who were in leadership positions, whether that was above me, below me, subordinate leaders, or, peers. But not many of them were true leaders. The Army and the Marine Corps spent a lot of time training leadership. They're trying to improve their leaders to make them better so that things get done correctly. But it's hard for some people to be leaders, and even with all the training in the Army, and I'm sure the same holds true with the Marines, there are many what we call bad leaders, right? And those are people I say are in leadership positions, but they're not truly leaders. And so if you're in a leadership position, I think I have some things that might be able to help you. Take what you can use and discard the rest. But the first thing is this: leaders are responsible. And leaders have to, therefore, assume, accept responsibility. And that's hard to do in America today. Americans are all about diverting responsibility, deflecting responsibility. We're not responsible for anything. It's not my fault. There's nothing I could do. You're responsible. In the military, in the Army, we used to say mission first, men always. And that meant something like, all right, if I'm confronted with a problem, and it's like, we have to attack a machine gun bunker, right? Dangerous, difficult thing to do. What's my primary duty as the leader of this military unit? Is it to take out the machine gun bunker, or is it to take care of my men? The answer is yes, right? Mission first, men always. So you have to get your job done, and you have to take care of your people, and it's your job. And let me give you an example. You're a teacher, and you're in a classroom, and all of a sudden bad things start happening in the hallway, right? There are gunmen in the hallway shooting people. Every time that happens, we see it on TV ad nauseum. Who's responsible for the safety of those children in that classroom at that point? You are. Well, I'm not trained for that. I'm not equipped for that. I'm not prepared for that. It doesn't matter. You are responsible for those children. You have two major tasks as a teacher, right? You have to educate those children, and you have to therefore provide a safe environment for this education to take place. And when the balloon goes up, when the poop hits the rotating oscillator, you're in charge of that classroom, whether you like it or not, whether you're trained or not. And so once you realize that, wow, you are responsible for those children, even in this terrible situation, maybe you start thinking about things a little bit differently. Take responsibility for your charges. I used to hear as a young parent, raising children through every stage of life, oh, just wait till they turn 2. They're terrible at 2. The terrible 2s. Didn't happen with my kids. Or you hear, oh, wait till they're teenagers. They just become terrible. They're sullen. They're mouthy. They're da-da-da-da-da. Didn't happen with my kids. Oh, wait till this happens. You know what this is? This is parents failing to take responsibility for their children. I just spent the day about a week ago with about 30 saints, and there were, a good number of them were little children. They were very well-behaved children, and they weren't little robots. They were active kids. They play, they wrestle, the boys do, and they do things, and yet they were in control of their parents. Raise a child up in the way he should go, and he will not depart from it when he is old, right? You have to take responsibility as a parent to raise your kids. And that leads us to preparedness, right? Viking Preparedness, that's our channel. You're responsible for the preparedness of your charges, at whatever level that is. Obviously, if you're a father or a head of household, if you are in the unfortunate situation of being a mom with no husband at home, then you're responsible. you're responsible for their preparedness. Look at, 1 Timothy 5:8. Go look it up. That's your job. And preparedness, it's physical preparedness, spiritual preparedness. I've talked about this before, but you're responsible for both. And so you need to start taking some actions. Same thing as a teacher. What if your school gets locked down and there's no electricity and it's summertime and it's hot, or whatever? What about water? What about where are your kids going to go to the bathroom if they can't go out in the hallway and some little girl has to go to the bathroom? You're responsible. So start thinking about those things now. Start taking responsibility. Don't deflect it and say, oh, well, that's not my job. Somebody else has to do it. You are responsible for getting your task done, and you are responsible for your people. We are facing some interesting times coming down the pike, and y'all need to start taking responsibility. Don't depend on other people, because those other people may not, probably won't be there when you think you need them. Please start thinking about what's coming down the pike. Please, please, please. Doesn't mean you have to live in fear. I don't live in fear. I'm living pretty good. Think about your people. Think about taking care of them. They're your responsibility. Assume that responsibility. We'll have more on this subject on leadership, not responsibility necessarily, later if y'all like this video. If you don't, that's cool. We'll talk about building fires or something. All right. Be responsible. I'll see you out there.